Hello. You know, I was wondering, with the film festival, I'm always amazed at how many people are here for the first festival, the first films during the week when I know a lot of people who come locally have to work. I know some people take time off, and then I wonder, how is it that the rest of you are here? You don't have to give me an answer now. Thank you. I'm just very grateful that you are here. This afternoon, I'm glad that I don't have a lot of housekeeping items to do because I want to get right to this. I gave a TEDx talk on empathy in the movies, and I said that empathy is the world's most powerful instrument of social progress. Through storytelling, we can put an audience or reader in the place of the so-called other to powerful world-shaping effects. And the movie that we're going to see this afternoon illustrates that better than, you'll see, just clearer than a lot of other movies I've seen, and that's why it's invited to the festival. In fact, it illustrates it to such a degree that we decided to award it the first Ebert Humanitarian Award, which we will do after the movie. I want you to see the movie first. You know, Roger called movies and empathy a giant machine that generates empathy. Stephen Apkon is, I think, a first-time director. He's produced films. He's also a social entrepreneur. His production credits include I'm Carolyn Parker, Enlistment Days, and the soon-to-be-released Presenting Princess Shaw. He's the founder and former executive director of the Jacob Burns Film Center. It's a nonprofit film and education center in Pleasantville, New York. And I visited the Jacob Burns Center in Pleasantville recently, and I was smiling as I was looking around Pleasantville because one of the movies Nate and I had on the list to present this year is Pleasantville, because it's one of the movies on Roger's list. But for a myriad reasons, it will probably come next year or another year. On the board of the Jacob Burns Film Center are directors such as Steven Spielberg, Ron Howard, and Jonathan Demme, among others. Steven's most recent endeavor is the formation of Reconsider, a nonprofit media company. We also have with us this afternoon the co-director and cinematographer of Disturbing the Peace, Andrew Young. He's an acclaimed filmmaker whose work has received an Oscar nomination, 2 Emmy Awards, 7 Emmy nominations, and 5 Sundance Awards, including the Grand Jury Prize. He has directed and photographed over a dozen documentaries, and his work has been exhibited theatrically and on HBO, Cinemax, National Geographic, the BBC, and PBS. The reason this film, I think, touched me so deeply is because I kind of grew up hearing, and over the years you hear, there can never be peace in the Middle East. There can never be peace in the Middle East. And I was thinking, how can that story be? What do you need to do to change that story? Because to me, we all come into this world with a story, or we start developing a story, whether it's that we're not good enough. We're peaceful, we're strong, or we're weak, we're victims, or we can dominate. And at some point in your life, you make a decision whether that's the story you want to continue with the rest of your life or whether you want to change that story in your life. No matter what people have told you, you realize that you have the power to change that story. But some things we hear about other people, they don't believe in peace, or they are just warmongers, or they are whatever. And then you meet some people who say, this is not my story. This story doesn't work for me anymore. I want to change it. And when I saw that in this movie, my jaw dropped. Because you see people who were enemies and who were fighting each other, and then they decided that story doesn't work for us anymore. Hey, what if we want peace, even if no one else around us want it? I sort of communed with Roger over this decision, and then I knew with 100-degree certainty this was the first movie to get the Humanitarian Award. Anyway, let's bring out the director and co-director, Stephen Apcon and Andy Young.
Thank you. That was amazing.
And you just talk a little bit about the movie.
This is quite overwhelming. I know that you know this. I hope that you know what a gift you have here in Chaz and Nate and Casey and what you are creating together. This is an extraordinary experience in an extraordinary community. And you are the first audience really to see this film. It's been many years in the making. It's been a film that's been so important both to Andy and I, but to so many more people on our team, and especially to the courageous people who live this story every day and have the courage, as Chaz says, to move beyond that story and to allow new narratives to emerge. So please, hope you enjoyed Disturbing the Peace, and we'll be back for a Q&A afterward with some special guests. And if you would indulge me, just in case some of you decide you want to leave and not stay for the Q&A.
Thank you all so much for coming inside on a spectacularly beautiful day. And thank you for being our first audience. We really look forward to hearing your thoughts afterwards. Thank you.